Okay, so your life is not falling apart. It is actually being rebuilt, right? So, like sometimes, like have you ever had like one of those moments where everything you have carefully planned like suddenly falls apart, like for some reasons, because the relationship that you thought will last forever ended and all, and like the career that you have spent years building no longer feels right for you. A dream that you have carried for so long slips through your fingers. Like, and suddenly you have life asking yourself, like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do now? And why is this happening to me, right? So, if that's where you are today, I want you to hear this before you click away, like, what if this isn't the end of your story? What if this confusing moments, this painful, unpredictable, the miserable seasons isn't a proof that your life is actually falling apart? No, but it is actually an evidence that, what, your life is actually finally begin to be rebuilt. So because sometimes the greatest turning point in your life doesn't arrive looking like a success. It's arrives disguised as chaos. Yeah, you heard it right, chaos. So you see, by the way, my name is Aries and I'm your online PFF of today, and thank you so much for clicking to this video. Bless your day, girls, boys, my besties. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna back to the topic, right? So yes, so this is the beautiful chaos that nobody talks about, sometimes, because we spend our lives trying to avoid uncertainty. Like we create a 5 year plan, a 3 year plans, or maybe a 1 year plans. Like we imagine exactly how our future should unfold, and we build expectations that around people, around the careers, like around timing, around certainty. But we convince ourselves that, oh, if everything goes according to plan, then we will finally feel safe. But life rarely works that way, right? But life has a strange way of interrupting our plans every single time. Sometimes life tears our plans apart. Yeah. And when that happens, we immediately label it as a failure. Okay, but here's something I've been learning, like there's actually a difference between something falling apart and something making room for something greater. Like imagine trying to renovate a house while refusing to remove the old walls. It is impossible, right? It is absolutely impossible. You need to make sure that the old foundations has to crack, has to be, like need to be removed before something stronger can be rebuilt, right? And maybe, maybe that's exactly what's happening in your life right now. Okay, you're standing at the messy intersections where one version of you is ending, all right, and another version is basically like quietly being reborn. Like it doesn't feel beautiful, of course, like absolutely not, right? It is not, and it feels very fucking uncomfortable, and I know that, confusing, lonely, messy, unpredictable, full of uncertainty. Or why am I facing this? Oh, and that's why I thought, right? But you see, creation, something being rebuilt, has always been messy all this time, right? Yes. So you see, like wait, let me just pause this for a while. Okay, I'm back. So I just paused the video because I feel like I thought that I didn't click the record button. Initially I thought I didn't click it, but I did click it. So yeah, just back to the topic. All right, so yeah, like every broken plan leaves behind building, and building materials, like, do you get what I mean? Like when you rebuild something or a building, right? Maybe because I'm in construction industry, so I every time relate with construction things and all. So every time there is like try to rebuild some foundations or some building, there is always a building materials, right, that being left behind. So you see, like, one of the hardest lessons that life teaches us is that not every dream is meant to survive sometimes, you know. Like, you see, like, some dreams exist only to like lead us towards a better ones. Like, think about every setbacks that you have basically experienced. Like, maybe losing those job force you to like discover a career that you actually love, you know. Like, maybe a heartbreak, you know, taught you standards that you never knew that you needed to. Like, maybe a failure, you know, all the failure that you have faced, you know, the failed plan reveals strengths that you will never have discovered through success alone, you know. And that is so beautiful, because every shattered expectations leaves something behind, right? Wisdom, you know, for instance, I give you example, you know, wisdom, resilience, perspective, you know, you gain courage. Okay, these become the building materials for your next chapter. All right, but here's what most people do, you know, they spend like years staring at the broken pieces, you know, instead of realizing those same pieces can actually build something even stronger than they have, you know. We're so busy mourning the life that we imagine, okay, like that we miss the life that trying to emerge within us. Right, sometimes God, sometimes the universe, like sometimes life itself, like doesn't remove something to punish you, okay? It removes something because you have already outgrown it, okay? That's why God removed them, because you are being protected, okay? Those things, those people that left you for some reason, or those jobs that are not meant for you, it's actually making some space for you for something better, you know. It is just a protections. It's a protections for you to get what you're supposed to get. All right, well, if you get what I mean, you get, right? So I want you to stop fighting the friction. All right, there is something powerful about friction sometimes. Like, without friction, a match like never lights. You know, I'm just giving you a metaphor, okay? A match never lights. Muscles never grow, you know, like diamonds never form. Growth has always required resistance, you know. Yet we spend like so much energy like trying to eliminate every uncomfortable feelings. We avoid uncertainty, we avoid difficult conversations, you know, like we avoid change, we avoid discomfort. But you see, but what if discomfort, you know, isn't your actual enemy, you know? What if it is actually your invitations, okay? Because like every meaningful transformations begins like with these orientations, all right? So the caterpillar, so I'm giving you another metaphor, like the caterpillar like literally dissolve before becoming a butterfly, okay? Okay, so a seed must like split open before it becomes an actual tree, right? The sunrise only happens after darkness every single time. So nature has never feared transformations. Only humans fear it. Alright? And maybe your greatest obstacle isn't the chaos, right? Maybe it's your resistance to it. The more tightly that you cling to the old, is it lagging? Oh my god. Okay, it's okay. So the more that you cling towards your old self, you know, your old version of your life that you keep mourning to, the harder it becomes to receive the new life that you're supposed to get. So sometimes you need to surrender. So surrendering isn't giving up to your life, you know. It's not. It is actually making space. All right? You see, like, I want you to imagine looking at a sculpture halfway through a carving a statue, like it wouldn't look beautiful at first, right? It wouldn't look that beautiful. And it wouldn't look broken. It is incomplete, it is covered with dust and all. If you judge the sculpture too early, like you have completely missed the masterpiece, the purpose of the art. Like life works that way, we are constantly judging ourselves in the middle of the process. Like, oh, you know what, I am behind than my peers right now. I feel like I'm failing, I fail, I wasted my time a lot, I've lost in, like in my life. And maybe, you see, maybe your life simply unfinished for now. Your story hasn't reached its final chapter. You're just in the beginning. Like this confusion that you're actually experiencing could be the exact moment that your future self looks back on and says that, oh, that was the moment that everything changed, like not because everything suddenly becomes like easier for you, but because you stop fighting the reality. So you stop trying to control every outcome, you stop demanding like certainty before taking the next step. Instead, you trusted yourself, enough. You trusted yourself enough like to keep moving forward without knowing your path, because life itself is unpredictable, and you just faced it anyway. That's courage. That's a courage. Brave. You're brave, you're very brave, Okay, reclaim, I want you to reclaim your unshakable power, like here's something I want you to remember, like your power was never in having perfect plan. Okay, your power has always been in your ability to adapt. Okay, that's the purpose, okay, of life. Your power is for you to rebuild your life again. Whenever that it falls down, falls apart, you gotta rebuild it again. Okay, I don't care how many times that you need to rebuild your life. Like that's your specialty, that's your power. Embrace it. Life will continue to surprise you. People will leave sometimes, yes. Dreams will change, yes. Doors will always close, opportunities will run away from you, and it's okay, but none of those things determine who you are or who you are actually becoming, because your response does, right? Because your response, your mindsets, your attitude is the only thing that you can control, right? Am I right? The third party influence, the environment, the people around you, they are beyond our control. Okay? So maybe this unexpected turning point, like, isn't stealing your future actually, like maybe it is introducing you to it. So instead of asking, oh, why is this happening to me, like try asking, who is this experience helping me to become? Okay, because every ending carries the blueprint of a new beginning. Every collapse hides the possibility of creations, and every season of confusion contains the seed of a clarity. And every unexpected turning point carries within it is actually... Okay, so I'm back. Where did I stop just now? Oh yeah. So like, and every unexpected turning point in your life actually carries within it. It is a version of you all this long, okay? That is much more wiser, stronger, like more authentic, and far more powerful than the person who first entered the storm. The circus, life is like a circus. It's up and down sometimes, right? But maybe life isn't asking you to have all the answers today. No, it is not. Okay, maybe it is actually simply asking you to trust the path that you're choosing. The path will reveal itself one step at a time. But because sometimes the most beautiful chapters of our life begin the moment we basically stop trying to return to who we are and finally become who we are always meant to be. So, if this message found you during a difficult season, I hope it reminded you, like, you're not falling behind. You're not falling behind, you're not broken, and you are certainly not finished, and you're simply in the middle of becoming. Okay, so if this resonated with you, I want you to walk this season of transformations with grace. Okay, until next time, I want you to take care of yourself, okay, and trust the rebuilding phase. Okay, that's it for today, and thank you so much for watching until the end. That's all.